Time now for Restoring the Soul of Healthcare from the HELPcare Clinic in Austin.
It is that time. Once again, we visit with Dr. David Strobel and Lee Aase at the HELPcare Clinic here in Austin. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning, John. Glad to be with you.
And glad to have you here because interesting topic here today, and I think is just a broad statement. We're going to talk about misconceptions.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the things that we get sometimes when we, put notices out on Facebook, publish some content, we talk a lot about, weight loss, and we talk about things like getting healthy and all that. And so sometimes people ask, so is HELPcare Clinic just a weight loss clinic? And the answer is no. That's not fundamentally what HELPcare Clinic is. There's a lot of metabolic health stuff that we do related to it, but essentially the real nature, the essence of HELPcare Clinic is that it's unhurried primary care that's oriented around the patient and what the patient wants. And just wanted to have Dr. Dave talk a bit about that and that philosophy and why that's so important.
Yeah. So the thing that it makes HELPcare Clinic different is basically the fact that we are not driven to see patients really at a high frequency and short visits and all of that, just because of the way we are paid, how this is financed. It's a membership-based thing, and so then we have more flexibility in how much time we can spend, and we can provide a product that I think more closely matches what the patient wants, and that is somebody who can listen and explain. And one of the things I will tell people is that the visit's never over. We're just done for now. And if we don't get to something, we can get back together again. And sometimes we can just get together by telephone or even by text message or email, that kind of thing, to be able to address additional questions. And so then that works very conveniently with the patient. So that's really the secret to this, is that because of that underlying financial model, everything that flows out of that is a more comfortable model for the patient. And so then you think, well, what kinds of things are important to people who want to be treated? And one of the things that is pretty darn frequent is somebody say, well, I wish I could be lighter. I wish I could lose weight. And of course, that's a very important thing. And we've talked about that on this program before, about the metabolic syndrome. Well, this affects 50% of Americans. And obesity is not the cause of the metabolic syndrome. There are individuals, my colleagues, many of them, that would disagree with that. But my opinion is that that's not true. The metabolic syndrome is several things altogether, and obesity is caused by it. And the obesity itself doesn't cause the blood sugar, the blood pressure, the cholesterol problems, or any of the other things that are related. They're all caused by the lifestyle that leads to all of this. But obesity is one of the things that people see. It's quite obvious, and they realize that there are things that are at least related to that, and they would like to fix it. So that's one of the things that brings people in, because they really want to deal with that. And I have to stop them kind of and say, well, okay, losing weight isn't the goal. The goal is to improve lifestyle. And if you do that right, then blood pressure will improve, lipids will improve, blood sugar will improve, gout will improve, liver enzymes will improve. And oh, by the way, if you stick with it, your weight will come off too. So it is an important topic. I don't want to discount it, but we really need to focus on the underlying cause rather than simply focusing on this one manifestation of the metabolic syndrome, that being obesity. And so we're not just a weight loss clinic, and in fact, we're not even just a metabolic syndrome clinic. We deal with other things. I see people that come in and they have a skin lesion they want me to look at, or they've got a kid that has a sore ear, or somebody is having, depression or anxiety or something like that, or they have thyroid disease, or, who knows what. There's a lot of different things that primary doctors do, and that's what I do. But the biggest thing we deal with is the metabolic syndrome. The reason for that is that it affects half of Americans, and 90% of Americans have at least one part of it. So, of course, we're going to deal with that a lot because it's common.
Peeling back the layers that somebody comes in, and I think in the media in general, we're always told we have to be thinner, skinnier, lighter, we need to lose weight. But it's really finding the perfect body image or body style that works for you, and certainly weight control is part of that, but finding what it is that may be causing either having too much weight or not being at the weight that works for you is most important.
Sure.
Yeah, the other part that we do is we do body composition analysis, and for some people, their biggest need is to gain muscle mass. That they've been able to maybe maintain a good. In fact, we saw somebody yesterday who, it's the InBody machine that we have, said she could lose about 10 pounds of fat, but also needed to gain about 10 pounds of muscle mass. So she was at the right weight, but she needed to, for optimal health and for, especially as we get older, loss of muscle mass is one of the reasons for people to have falls and for, not being able to live well into their, older years. So being able to take a look at the whole person and not just focus on the one number on the scale.
Right. And that's a good example. That's a good example also, because people think of obesity and you say, what does it mean to be obese? And they say, well, you weigh too much. And that's absolutely not true, period. Okay? Being obese does not mean you weigh too much. It means your fat tissue weighs too much. That's it. Okay? So, for example, my current body mass index is about 25. Now, that's actually kind of a little on the high side. It's a lot better than it was several years ago. I was more like 28. And so it's like, okay, my body mass index is about optimal, but I also have 20 pounds of obesity. So I have reasonably optimal body mass index and abdominal obesity at the same time. And these are not mutually exclusive. We need to get over this idea that being big and heavy is what obesity is. That's not true. And so body composition analysis is what allows us to do that. And for many people who have significant obesity, maybe they need to lose 90 pounds of weight, but if they got down to that weight, they might actually be in the obese range for a body mass index, which is why the body mass index is not a good measurement of this.
So the other thing we just wanted to highlight is that, while we're not a weight loss clinic, it is one of those wonderful benefits, one of those side effects, very welcome side effects, that as people are working on restoring their health and who are interested in doing that, that is something that kind of comes along for the ride, and that we do have lifestyle coaching that is available to those who want to take advantage of it at no extra charge. So just like we don't charge for lab tests or for doctor visits, we don't charge for the coaching either. And so for people who are looking to make some changes and really motivated, we have the information and the support and the and just the guidance to help people navigate, the food environment that we have these days, and how do you live a lifestyle that's going to enable you to be successful in achieving this. But if people are not at the point where that's something that they want to do, that's totally okay. Dr. Strobel and Stephanie Kimmis, who's a nurse practitioner, are there to serve the patients and to help them accomplish what their goals are, and to have a conversation with them. And those goals might evolve over time as they build a better relationship with a provider who really knows and understands them. And that might make them think, yeah, maybe I'm ready to start on some lifestyle changes now because I feel accepted and I feel like I'm not being driven to do this by somebody who has some other agenda other than what I want to accomplish.
Right.
And it's interesting. We just got just a couple quick moments left here. When we have these conversations, it seems we always get back to the relationship. And in any good relationship, it's all about feeling that you're being heard and having the extra time to sit with Stephanie or Dr. David Strobel or anyone there to actually feel like your concerns are being heard, and that gets you further down that path of developing the relationship and getting to your ultimate goal.
Yeah, people really don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
There you go. Yep. Perfect. Just real quick, let's remind everybody your website, how to get a hold of you, and get signed up, be part of the HELPcare Clinic.
Sure. They can visit us on the web at helpcare.health, or they can come see us in person at 308 4th Avenue Northwest here in Austin. We're just right between the Hormel Historic Home and St. Augustine's. And then also just give us a call at 279-2345. We'd be glad to show and tell and have people see for themselves what this can do for them.
All right, gentlemen, great conversation. As always, always look forward to my Thursdays. We'll talk to you again next week.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, John.
Have a blessed day.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.